Hello and welcome to my channel. For my old subscribers, I say hello family. For those of you who are just subscribing for the first time, who don't know who I am, my name is Bun-kamara and you are on Arise Dreamers channel. On this channel, we believe that God is still speaking through the power of dreams. We deal with interpretation of physical and spiritual dreams. For the sake of today, in today's episode, we're gonna be talking about flying dreams. Quite a number of people dream, and most of their dreams are they see themselves flying in the dreams. What does it mean when you see yourself and you flying in the dreams? Now, before we go into that, I want to say what dreams are. Dreams are natural occurrences that happens to every human being when you go to sleep. These are when you go to sleep, you have rapid eye movement, or you are in a relaxed state of mind, you sleep state of mind, and then you see yourself seeing pictorial, like a movie, like things happening to you whilst you're sleeping. Now, God uses this kind of way to communicate to his people, even in our time. When you look at things like the Bible was written just by the dreams and visions that people saw that they write down. But in this episode today, I'll be talking about flying dreams. If you see me looking down, I'm looking at my notes. I made some notes, so I'll be looking down, right down at my notes while the recording's going on. Feel free to take some notes, take your book and pen, and take some notes for yourself so that, next time when you see yourself flying, you would know exactly what that dream may mean or what God might be trying to talk to you. Now, the natural law of gravity, does not apply when you're dreaming. You may, and what I mean by that is, on a natural physical world, you will not be able to physically fly because you were not made to be like that. As human beings, you do not fly except if an object or something is propelling you to fly up. But in a spiritual world, in a dream world, God uses impossible situations to happen. So you may see yourself like flying in the dream because the law of gravity does not apply when you see yourself doing. So things that normally seems to be impossible becomes possible whilst you're dreaming and whilst you're sleeping. These are the laws of gravity, and it does not apply when you are dreaming. Now, these impossible things like flying begins to unravel itself. But then through that flying, there may be critical messages that God will be telling you about your life, about your future, about your spiritual stance, about where you want to go, about the directions that you want for yourself, about everything pertaining your life. Just in that one flying dream can unveil millions of messages, exactly what God is saying. But I must warn you before I go ahead. Dreaming of flying alone does not give you a whole interpretation of what the dream may mean. There may be series of other things that you saw yourself doing whilst you're flying. So combination of things that happen to you in that dream will give you a full picture of exactly what God is saying to you. So flying is one aspect of it, but there may be other aspects that happen to you whilst you're sleeping. Now, in order for you to fly, you need air. In order for you to fly, you need air. Now, what does air represent? Air represents the Holy Spirit. Air always represents the Holy Spirit. A typical example of air representing the Holy Spirit or the power of God is in the book of Genesis. In the book of Genesis, in the very beginning, we saw that when God created man in the mud, molding, did everything to him, but the man was lifeless, totally lifeless. But what did he do? He blew air in his nostrils, and a man became alive, and he called him Adam. Adam came alive just because God blew his air into his nostrils. Another powerful example of that is the Holy Spirit on the day of Pentecost, when all the disciples were gathered up and all the other people were gathered up in the upper room. The Holy Spirit came in a form of a wind, like a rushing wind, into that room. And when that happened, you saw that the Spirit of God came mightily on the people who were in that room. Another example of that is Ezekiel in the valley of the dry bones. We saw that God asked Ezekiel to blow wind into the dry bones, and it became alive. The flesh began to the bones began to come alive. The flesh began to form. Everything came alive just because Ezekiel exercised the power that God gave him with the ear. He told him the four winds, command them to blow, and he blew them and things came alive. Now, what am I trying to say? In order for you to fly, you need air. Now we're getting somewhere. Take your book and pen and let's move. Now one thing I want to really highlight, and some of the highlights I want to make, and this is things that you may need to note. You may have seen yourself flying in that dream, but you don't know what the flying may mean. There's once I saw myself flying, like there was a season in my life where I constantly saw myself flying in the dream. I would fly, I would go up, and I'll see myself suspending in the air. But I didn't have a clue what the dream meant. Obviously, there are other occurrences in the dream, but I didn't have a clue what God was trying to tell me in that particular season of my life. Now, sitting back through the power of journaling, sitting down now and looking back or reading my dreams then, at that time of my life, things I was going through, I now understand what God was trying to tell me. And because of my personal conviction, things that I have been through with my dream life, I want to be able to come here and share with you, so you will be educated and know as well exactly what God might be telling you. Now, highlight number 1. God will be giving you power against earthly problems. Now, God is giving you power against earthly problems. Now, going back to the book of Genesis again, using that as comparison. Remember when Adam was made by God, he was in the dust form on the floor. Well, he wasn't in the dust. He wasn't alive yet until God blew the air into him. He became alive, and he became a superior in the garden because God blew his breath in him and he became alive. Now again, going back to Ezekiel blew the air in the dry bones, in the valley of the dry bones. He commanded the wind to come, and you see that life began to come into those dry bones. Now, what is God trying to tell you when you see yourself flying? Again, depending on the other circumstances that you may be going through in your personal life, there may be God is trying to bring your attention to tell you or to let you know that I am going to give you the power, or I have already given you the power to rise up against any earthly problem that may come your way. It could be anything. God is giving you power to rise up against any of those problems that you may be facing. Now, look at your life. See the issues that you may be facing, and you may be able to understand exactly what God is trying to tell you at that particular time of your life. Now, the second point I'm trying to make to you is flying may indicate a gift of vision. A gift of vision. Remember, you're flying up, and God is opening your eyes. You're flying up in the air. You literally saw yourself up in the air. Now, when you are up in the air, what happens? You have the ability to see things from a broader perspective. You will be up in the air. You'll be able to see a whole city. You'll be able to see how the whole city is, maybe how the whole country is. Have you been in an aeroplane? And when that aeroplane is ready to land and you are suspended in the air, especially coming down at night or early in the morning, you will see how lit the whole city is. You see how beautiful the whole city is. You can even see how the city is divided in little sections. In some countries that you go, you'll be able to see clearly what the whole landscape of that city is before you actually land. So God will be giving you the ability to see further, or he will be nudging you to look at things on a broader perspective. Another ability that God will be giving you, or indication that God will be giving you, is he will be giving you indication, it's a move in the spirit. Now, flying can also mean a new perspective, just like what I've said. Flying may also mean a new perspective. When you are up in the air, your ability to see things on a broader perspective, from a new perspective. Maybe in your life, you probably used to seeing things from your old way, from a very particular point of view. You're up in the air. You see yourself seeing it everywhere. God might be indicating to you, look at things from a broad perspective, from a new perspective, from a new angle. Allow yourself to explore. Don't be afraid to explore. There is so much you can do when you remove fear from yourself, and when you give yourself the acknowledgement and give yourself the God-given right that he says to you, you will mount up with wings like eagle. And now you are mounting up. Know then that in a mounting up, you have to be receptive to new ideas, new things coming, new connections coming, and so on and so forth. So you have to have a broad perspective, or maybe God may be indicating to you there may be new perspection. He's hinting you, pushing you to open up your mind and learn new things. You are going higher, and don't be afraid to do that. Another thing very significantly that I feel that in dreams, and what God indicates in flying dream, is the fact that you have freedom. Freedom to go. Naturally you are not able to fly high. You then see yourself flying high. God may be indicating to you, whatever the problems may be, he is giving you that freedom to be free from whatever obstacle that may be holding you bound. Maybe do you find yourself in your waking life in certain circumstances where you are constantly bound by situations, by issues, and so on and so forth, personal issues that you may be going through, that will be holding you captive. God then give you that dream. You're flying high. He's telling you, I am making you free, giving you new hope, giving you new possibilities, making you think and know that with me all things are possible. And that is why I'm giving you the ability to fly high above whatever problems or issues that you may be going through. Now, there may be a few hints that I want to really highlight to you, and you may need to take notes of this. And these are things that I probably experienced once in my life, and I began to study about it. I began to realize that on that instance, although at the time, like I said earlier, I didn't really know what it means, but then studying it further, researching about it further, I began to realize that God was talking to me about particular issues I was facing in my life at that time. Now, one of them was flying backward in dream, flying backward. God is telling you that you're reminiscing about issues of your past. Issues of your past. Have you been stuck in your past? Have particular things happened to you in your in your private life, in your personal life, in your waking life? Have you been stuck in a particular situation? Have people hurt you that you are unable to forgive? Then you see yourself flying. So instead of flying upward, you're flying backward. God is trying to indicate to you, do not dwell in the past. You know, our past, when you dwell in the past, one of the advices I can give you today is dwelling in the past can only make you stuck and unable to move on with your life. When you free yourself from issues of the past, is the greatest medicine in conquering whatever you want to conquer in life. If you want to fly high, physically and spiritually, you've got to be able to forget your past. That was yesterday. Your past is called past for a reason, because it has gone. Now look forward to things that are ahead of you, because God says, eyes have not seen, eyes have not seen, ears have not heard the promises that he has for you. So aim high, keep pushing forward, and this is the only way God can move you forward to where he wants you to go. And then, you know, another thing that I want to highlight to you, whilst you were dreaming and you were flying in that dream, what was your feeling? Were you feeling scared whilst you were up in the air in your dream? When you woke up in a dream, what did you remember? Did you remember that you were up in the air and you were really scared? Oh, I'm up in the air, I'm scared. Did you remember feeling like, oh, I'm scared of height? What were the issues that you faced whilst you were up there? Or did you see yourself, you were screaming and shouting for help whilst you were up there? Now, God may be indicating to you that you probably are scared of different new challenges that he has faced in front of you and before you. He may be taking you to your new height, a higher height, but are you prepared for it? That will be the question. You know, consider your life. Go back in your personal life. What are the things or what are the challenges that you are facing? Are you facing the fact that new things happen to you all the time, but there are issues or storming blocks that comes your way, and those new issues that happen never get to materialize? Or you see yourself stuck constantly. The moment you want to move on from one stage of your life to the other, there's storming block, issues always happening. Now then you see yourself having a dream where you're flying. God may be indicating to you there are issues in your waking life, maybe new horizons, new things that he's putting before you, but the problem is that you are too scared to move on. Maybe in your personal life, those issues where in relationships where you're constantly stuck, same things happening over and over and over and again, but you see yourself stuck, and then you start seeing yourself flying, but then up in the air you start feeling scared. God will be telling you, do not be scared to move on. I am with you. Another difficult one that I feel like a lot of people experience is through emails and things that I get from people, emails and messages and personal, you know, from family members and friends, and even myself. Back in the days, things I used to dream, and is the ability, you see yourself or you want to fly, but there is so much difficulty in taking off. So you want to fly, but there is something pulling you down. You want to fly, you really want to, you know, get yourself ready to fly. You see yourself going up, but at the same time, you see yourself coming down. Now, what is God trying to tell you? Like I said, lack of motivation. God may be telling you there's some kind of lack of motivation. You want to go up. You know that you have the ability. There's some giftings in the inside of you. But a simple lack of motivation, willingness to learn is keeping you down in that place. Another one is hesitation. What are you hesitant of in your waking life? What are the things that you find yourself hesitating about? These are important facts that you may need to know. Go back on your life. Look back on those things that you think may be keeping you down and keeping you captive. It could be in anything. It go back on it, revise it, and begin to look into it. Now, setting yourself unrealistic goals in your personal life, in your waking life. Realistic goals that you keep yourself or you set for yourself, but you've probably never really met those goals. But then through those things that you're going through in your waking life, then you begin to see yourself wanting to fly, but something is holding you back. What are the forces that hold you back when you're flying? What are the forces? Now remember, like I said earlier, in the law of gravity, in the dream world, you are able to do anything in your real life that you are not able to do. Anything in your real life that you're not able to do. So realistically, anything you are not able to do in your real life, in the dream world, you are able to do. Now, I'm just going to review somebody's dream that she sent a dream to us in regards to flying. And she said she saw herself in the middle of some old people. And then she said by the way, her name is Caroline from the United States. She said she found herself flying. She was among old people, and just of a sudden the scenario changed and she was flying high. Now, in this matter, God will be trying to tell you, Caroline, to change your surrounding. There are some old things that you may be going through or surrounding, the kind of people that you surround yourself with. God will be telling you in this dream, change your perspective, change your community, change your caliber of people that you may be surrounding yourself with. Move on. So it's giving you that wings to fly up. Once again, my name is Jane Bun-kamara, and this has been Arise Dreamers channel. If by any chance this has made any difference to you whatsoever, you want to know more, there are more topics you want us to do in this program, please do not hesitate to contact us to let us know. info@janesdreamlab.org. We'll be very happy, myself and my team will be very happy to have you on board and answer all of your questions. But this is Jane Bun-kamara. You have been on Arise Dreamers channel. Visit us on Instagram and Facebook. Leave us your message. Leave us your numbers. Whatever your dreams are, we are live every Monday on Facebook. Please do not hesitate to contact us. I have been your host for this evening, and see you next time. Bye-bye.